There is no place like home. You see, I love traveling, and I think most people do too. But when you finally find a place that you can call home, there are certain things that you appreciate about that place and that are unique to that place. And those things, those qualities, are the things that you typically miss when you travel. So like I said before, I love traveling. I love seeing things, experiencing new things. I love it. But there is no place like home. I missed my studio. It's so nice to be back in this room. This drum closet, what a great drum closet. Also, I cleaned it up if you couldn't tell. These drums right here, I love these drums. This recording setup, I love this recording setup. And now you may notice there ain't no cymbals or snare on the drum set. And that kind of leads me to the subject of this video, which is going to be why it's important to unpack your drums and cymbals as soon as you get home. Now, before half of you click off this video, don't, because this does apply to you too, whether that be camera gear or any other gear that you travel with, or even just your suitcase. It's important to unpack as soon as you get home. I used to never unpack when I got home just because I was tired, and that's the last thing I wanted to do. But I found when I didn't and I just waited, it would take days, if not weeks, till I actually got around unpacking everything, especially if I didn't need to use it for a while. And I think a lot of that was because the barrier to entry was higher than if the drums were just set up. The barrier being having to set the drums up before I played. And that affected my playing, my practicing, and my willingness to get behind the kit. So to kind of curb that, I decided to make the simple rule of when I got home, the first thing that I would do is unpack my drums and my cymbals so that they're ready to go as soon as I need them. And this is mostly for somebody that just wants to play drums for fun or anything else. Obviously, if I had a project, then I would have to unpack these and get the project done. But this is just mostly for the love of the drums and being able to do it whenever I wanted to. To just take it beyond the drums, just purely from an organizational standpoint, if I don't unpack my suitcase when I get home, then it spends days or weeks just sitting there and I'm tripping over it. So to kind of bring it home, I'm a big fan of setting yourself up for success. For me, one way that I've found that's made me more successful practicing and everything else is as soon as I get home from whatever I'm doing, I unpack the drums. Even if it's a pain in the butt. Doesn't matter how late it is or anything like that, I always make it a point to unpack drums. Okay. Also, I think it's funny that I made a video today talking about unpacking when you're home and everything else because I'm actually leaving tomorrow for a work trip. If you need a bottle of rosé, there's one right here. Today we're traveling to Knoxville for a quick little work trip. We're gonna be there for 3 days. Haven't been in Knoxville in a while, so it should be fun. It's also very warm today, like significantly warmer than it was yesterday. Traffic. We got to Knoxville. It's a lot wetter in Knoxville than it was in Nashville this morning. The thing that we're here for was actually a photo shoot, and we just finished that. How did that session go?
Great.
And Savannah's family actually lives in Knoxville, so we're staying with them. And right now, I'm just riding around the neighborhood just to get outside, because we spent most of the day in the car. And I've been spending more time outside lately, and I'm noticing a change in my energy level and also my mood. So I'm trying to make it a priority to get outside more instead of being cooped up inside all the time. We're going to do some shopping right now. Just in case you missed it, that goes 70 miles an hour. This is a hobby store with like model trains, planes, remote control cars. It's pretty cool. Today's been a super long day, but I feel like I did a lot. One thing that I consistently try to assess just throughout my day, am I doing enough? And I think in today's culture, that can be a tricky question to answer, because there's always gonna be somebody that does more, or there's always gonna be somebody that seems like they're doing more than you. And for me, the answer to that question is, instead of focusing on other people, I just focus solely on me, and I ask the question, am I happy with the amount of things that I've done today? And do I think it's a good balance between work and life? All that to be said, I think I've done good today, and I am happy with the amount of things that I've been able to do. Check out this electric backhoe. Electric. Nope. Savannah got this coffee from a coffee shop called Honeybee. It's local to Knoxville. When she got it, the owner was there and just paid for everybody's coffee. So we got free coffee. Never say no to something free. Also, check out these clouds. So I figured I would try something different. I figured I'd go through a couple of the videos that I post on social media and kind of break them down. So for this one, it's gonna be on Instagram. Let's start with the build. Just drums. So I'm gonna focus on two things. The first one is I built into a actual like drum groove, drum breakdown thing. For things like that, I try to give myself room to grow. And when I do that, I start off super simple. So if you notice, it was just a straight groove. As the chorus progressed, then I added more kick drum and I added more toms. And for me, when I'm building a groove, I'll typically add more kick drum as a starting place to kind of bring the energy up, but I still don't have to do a full drum build or anything else. I can kind of go up and down really really easily with the kick drum. And then as the chorus comes to a close and we go back into the full thing, then I add more busy drum fills, and the drum fill right before the end, I did a and the reason I did that is that gives me more room to grow if I need it by doing a build or a 16th note drive or anything else like that. When you're doing things like that where it's just drums and voices, I typically start super simple and build from there. Okay, it's my turn to bowl. And to put it simply, when you're thinking of drum fills and thinking of like drum solo type of things in a song, have a theme that goes along with the song and stick with that theme. Because if you can, it'll sound more musical and it'll come off better, like fitting the song, and anybody that's listening to you play will be able to understand it a little bit easier. I'm not sure what we're doing the rest of the day. We spent like 6 hours at that arcade just playing games and bowling. We're leaving, going home today. Sad to leave, but glad to be going home. In any art form, there's one thing that makes or breaks it from being good, in general. It doesn't matter if it's painting, if it's photography, videography, music, or even drums. If you can do this well, then you'll have an entertaining piece of content. And the thing that all of this rides on is being able to craft and tell a story well. And like I said before, it doesn't matter if it's drums, painting, photography, or anything like that. You can tell a story with any piece of art. And if you can do it well, then it'll be good. So with any good story, you're gonna need 3 things: setup, conflict, and resolution. Having that 3-act narrative is pretty simple and pretty straightforward for video, but other art forms like drums can be a little more tricky, but it's totally doable, and having those 3 things is critical to having a good drum solo. So for Act 1, for drums, you're going to set something up, meaning I'm going to set a bass groove up and stick with that theme throughout the entire solo. The next tip is going to be conflict, or in this case, it's going to be building tension. And you can do that a couple different ways from the drums. The common popular way is going to be just doing like a build, but basically you want to create tension in a groove. And the last thing is going to be, once you've created that tension, you're going to want to release the tension. And this can simply just be done by, if you're building, creating tension, dropping into a groove is a good way to kind of release the tension and giving you a sense that you've arrived. And when you're doing this, don't feel like you have to just do it one time. A good drum solo often does it multiple times. Setup, conflict, resolution. Setup, conflict, resolution. That gives you the hills and valleys, and it's more entertaining to listen to, and it's more entertaining to really just watch. Just like a good TV show has drama, and that makes it more appealing to watch, doing this will make your drum fills more appealing to listen to and to watch. Okay.
You can't be on the lot, okay?
Okay, I was just trying to get home and I was trying to cut through. I thought I could go that way.
Yeah, but you came in that way. How'd that happen?
Right, I live there. I came that way and now I'm coming back this way. That was the security guard yelling at me for being in that parking lot with that building. That's the third time I've been yelled at from that security guard for cutting through. So I want to talk to you about something that I do a lot when I play, and it's subtle, but it makes a big difference. So this video is something that I posted on YouTube previously, but it's a good example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so two things, and they both have to do with the hi-hat and what I'm doing with the hi-hat. Also, by the way, that video, I have the full concert. That was a release show I played back during COVID, and it was like a live stream thing. But if you want to check that out, I'll put a link up there somewhere. The two things that I'm doing in that video that I do all the time are subtle, but they make a huge difference. The first thing is going to be, I'm doing eighth notes with my right hand on the hi-hats, but I'm accenting the quarter notes on the hi-hat. So I'm going da do da do da do da do, 1 and 2 and 3. And that may seem like a small thing, but if you go back and forth playing regular eighth notes and then eighth notes with accents on the quarter notes, you'll notice a big difference. And it's almost like a halftime thing, but not really. The second thing is something, I don't know why I didn't do it from the beginning, but I just started doing it like 5 years ago. And that's when I go to crash on the ride cymbal, I'll also crash on the hi-hats if I'm playing open hi-hats. The reason I do that is to keep the same energy when I go to hit the crash cymbal. There's still gonna be the hi-hats instead of it just randomly cutting out and coming back in. When I started doing that, I noticed that all my drum groups felt more consistent and they felt more full, and it was basically just using my left hand when my right hand moved to crash on a cymbal. I know those two things are small and they seem kind of insignificant, but if you try them in grooves, you'll notice that your playing will just have a different feel, and it'll feel more solid and more put together when you do it with a group of people. Okay. Those are the worst things to run over on a skateboard.